everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. This is a video request, as over the years lots and lots of people have been asking me what I do to get out of a creative rut or creative slump. So I'll share two types of ruts that I go through, the causes, the reasons I go through them, and the tools I use that help me to get out of them. And I hope that this video is helpful and you might find yourself relating to some of the experiences that I share. But first of all, what I'm doing in this video in the background, so you've got something to watch, I am just making some more collage journal cards. I do have a tutorial showing how I make these, and I do have some of these collage bases as a freebie over on my Patreon if you would like to work with this as a background. But basically, what I'm doing is just grabbing some scrap coffee dyed paper from offcuts of journal projects and some scrap pieces of vintage music paper and piano paper, collaging that, sewing around the edges, and then embellishing them with these beautiful floral stickers. These come from Stationery Pal, and then I'm going to use a bit of washi tape to tape them down, or to make it appear like I've taped them down using that tape. And that washi tape also comes from Stationery Pal. I have a link to their website in the description box if you're interested, along with a coupon code for a discount. So let's get on to creative ruts. The first type of rut that I have is when I don't feel like creating, and the second type of rut is when I do feel like creating but can't. For the first type of rut, I don't tend to call this a rut in my life because I'm happy just to do something else that I do feel like doing. I don't worry about this type of rut because I know the desire to create will always come back. When I'm in the second type of rut, I don't tend to worry about that too much either, because as a creative person who has been creating for as long as I can remember, I know I'll naturally create again. You know, creating is like breathing to me, so just as I eventually take another breath, I know I'll eventually create. It can be super frustrating though when I'm going through a creative rut, especially that second type, and I've learnt some tools that help speed up the process to get creating sooner. And for me, it helps to identify what causes my creative rut so I can do what I need to do to get out of it. This is sometimes an automatic awareness of what's going on. Other times I have to be more intentional and ask myself what's happening as I listen to my body and pay attention to what it needs. So I'll go through the most common causes, the reasons for my creative ruts, and what I do to get me creating again. The first reason is that I'm just tired. Sometimes I'll sit at my desk fully intending and expecting to create, but then I'll realize I'm just physically, I've got no energy. And so sleep is the answer to this one, nice and simple. If I don't feel like creating, it's a simple decision for me, and I will go to bed if it's the end of the day, or I will take a nap if it's the middle of the day. Yes, sometimes I feel guilty and feel like, oh no, I shouldn't do that, that's silly, but I know that we need sleep. So if I do feel like creating, I could push myself to make something, but if I'm being wise, I would just go to bed or take that nap, because I have learned as I've gotten older how important sleep is, how it pretty much affects everything. It's better for our well-being, our mood, and we need to get enough sleep in our lives. I can tell I'm in need of sleep if my eyes are sore, if my head is fuzzy and I just kind of feel out of it, like I'm not really there. And I know I can show up better after even just a short nap, you know, even if it's 10 minutes, half an hour, 20 minutes, that can make all the difference. Or I can just get back creating the next day after a good night's sleep. So sometimes though, it's not that I'm physically tired, but mentally tired. And if this is the case and I still feel like creating, I'll just do something that doesn't require any thinking. My go-tos are cutting out pages or printables. I find it quite therapeutic just getting a pair of scissors and cutting things out. I also do simple collaging and preparing tags or journal cards. So these activities, they're repetitive but useful. So I still feel like I'm doing something, but I don't need to have any mental energy to be able to do it. So often I'll make masterboards, collage masterboards, just using book pages, or I'll cut out a bunch of tag templates. And then when I do have more mental energy, that's when I can figure out, okay, what am I actually going to do with these things? How am I going to decorate them? How will I actually use them? So the second reason I might be in a creative rut is burnout. And there are two types of burnout I go through. One is when I'm burnt out from a specific creative activity, and the other is when I'm burnt out from just creating in general. And for the first type of burnout, I can usually just switch to a different type of creative activity. For example, if I'm sick of making journals, I'll just do some collage. If I'm over collage, I'll get a page spread done in my journal. And I might need to branch out a bit further. So instead of doing anything to do with journals, I might get out my paints, or I might pick up my camera and take some photos and just do something in a different creative area instead. So often what happens, I've realized my pattern, I'll have a week where I'm making journals every day of that week, and then I'll be super motivated and inspired, but then the next week will come and I'm just so over making journals. And when that happens, I don't necessarily need to stop creating full stop. I can just turn to something else. I can make some tags, I can collage, and then eventually, it might be a week later, it could be a month later, it could be 2 months later, but eventually I'll feel like making journals again. And that's what I've observed anyway from my own creative pattern or practice. But for the second type of burnout, I just need to rest and take a break from creating. Basically, I take some time out for me and recharge. I just do those things that recharges my batteries. It will be different for you, the things that we do maybe. For me, basically do whatever it is that you feel like doing when you don't feel like creating, and that's okay. You have permission not to create. You don't have to be creating 24/7, and do those things that recharge you. So for me, it's reading a book, watching a movie, hanging out with friends. What is it for you? It could be listening to music, maybe play an instrument, cooking a meal, going for a walk. It will be different for different people, but you just need to rest and recharge. And if I do still want to be doing something related to creating, then I might declutter or organize my craft supplies and area. So doing something else that I do feel like doing is my solution for all the rest of the creative rut problems. Whenever I don't feel like creating, I just don't create, and that's all good. The third reason I might be in a creative rut is lack of inspiration. And the way I get out of this rut is to feed my well. So understand that we don't always have to be creating all the time, and that isn't possible anyway. We need balance of being filled so that we can then pour out. So make equal time for both. For me, I mainly get inspired from watching YouTube videos and on Instagram, reading books, and from my favorite authors and other creative people, whether it's a podcaster, a singer, an actor, a dancer. So some ideas: you could create a playlist of videos with projects you want to try. One thing I do is take screenshots of photos of ideas that I'm inspired by. Another thing that may help is learning a new technique or trying out a different creative activity. So you might find your inspiration is sparked in a new area, or that your inspiration is rekindled as you return to your original activity. Sometimes I just move on from a certain creative activity because it no longer inspires me, and I'm okay with that. I say goodbye. It served me for that season, but now my inspiration has moved on and I just go where it takes me. For example, over the course of my life, I've moved from drawing to painting to jewelry making to photography to scrapbooking to card making to junk journals to collage, art journaling, and so on. And that's where I am now. But I know maybe eventually this junk journal inspiration will eventually burn out for good. And that's okay, because there's something else ahead that I will love doing as well. So just go wherever the inspiration takes you. The fourth reason I might be in a creative rut is that I'm just stuck. And this is the most frustrating one. And it could be due to any number of reasons. For me, the main ones are perfectionism, and just feeling down, when I get into depressive funks, I know for lots of people comparison gets them down and gets them stuck. So for me, the key when I am stuck is to get in connection with myself, to clear out all those outside perspectives and just to create for my eyes only and find out what's going inside of me. Now, I've done this through writing song lyrics and poems in the past. Throughout my whole life, I've done it through journaling. And more recently, I've done it through drawing and art journaling. And the idea here is not to create anything beautiful or finished or planned. You don't even need to have an idea of what's going to go on the page or what you're going to create. The idea is just to let whatever is inside you come out so you can know yourself better through that self-expression, no matter how ugly or how messy the process or the end product. And I just keep doing this for however many minutes, hours, days, weeks, months it takes before something unlocks inside me and I can create again. I have an A4 art journal I use for these moments when I'm stuck. And sometimes I literally just scribble in it because that's all I can do. Sometimes I write in big, messy, unreadable writing because that's just how it comes out, my writing. If I feel frustrated, I put that on the page. If I feel sad, I've literally just drawn tears on the page, like covered the entire page with tears. And not only one page, sometimes I've gone back and done multiple pages of just tears and tears and tears because that's just a reflection of how I'm feeling and nothing else is coming out. If I'm angry, I might, stab at the page with my pen and do usually when I'm angry and it comes out in my journal, it's with big zigzags with the big a lot of pressure put onto the page, zigzags. There's just something satisfying about that. If I feel sad, I already said that one. If I don't know what to write or do, I write that on the page. I just write, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to feel, this is so frustrating, this is the worst, I don't like this. I'll just put that all on the page. It all goes in the safe place of a journal. I might get my paint out, slap that on, who knows. Anything goes in that journal. It's a big old mess and it's just to help me get unstuck, basically. And so there are two other things that have helped me and do help me anytime I'm in a rut. And I'm not just in a creative rut, but a life rut. And even an identity rut. And the first one for me, this is probably the biggest thing that helps me overall. As a journaler, it's journaling courses and prompts. I just love having structure and the accountability of regular prompts with guidance, ideas and inspiration that come in journal courses. And so I've taken courses and created my own courses each time I've been in a rut. And each time they've helped me to move forward. So there are plenty of free courses and prompts to be found with a Google search, but I find I need to pay for a course for me to get more out of it, for me to take it seriously and be accountable. So definitely there's lots of paid courses as well that you can take from fellow junk journalers or just art journalers on YouTube, or Google searches will bring them up too. I know there's some on Skillshare and platforms like that. And then, I created my own courses. For example, I've created the Inspiration Journal course, which is a free one on my channel, and I've got different challenges, journaling challenges. I also created a bunch of paid courses that focus on self-discovery. So if anyone's interested in those, just check the description box below. But in a nutshell, there's the Anchor Journal course, which is all about finding our anchors, the things that hold us together, keep us going and ground us. The Reflections course is about documenting and honouring our year, processing it and finding all the good that came from it and the lessons that we've learned from it, even if it was a really hard year, so that we can let go of it, move on from it, say goodbye to it, so we can step fresh into a new year. The Art Journal course is all about self-expression, and that's the one I needed to do when I was stuck. I was going through a bit of anxiety flare-ups and just feelings of sadness and loneliness and all frustration and confusion and all that kind of stuff. And so I created that art course to help me get unstuck. And I thought if it's helping me get unstuck, it might help someone else get unstuck too. And you don't need to be an artist. You don't need to know how to draw. That's purely about self-expression and getting messy on the page. And then the Intentional Life course, that one is all about getting in touch with our values, our core values, setting goals, and living with meaning and intention every day. So the second thing that helps me anytime I'm in a rut is being part of a community of fellow creatives. When I first got into junk journals, I joined some Facebook groups and they did wonders for my well-being. And then eventually I started my YouTube channel, and that has just been so wonderful. I was coming out of my years of depression and anxiety when I discovered junk journals and joined the community here, and it was just so supportive and encouraging. I found purpose in creating, and I found people who shared this passion and understood it. And whenever things got hard, reaching out to this community helped me to keep going. And this year I formed a Marco Polo community with my Intentional Life journalers, where we're able to share videos with each other. And I've just been so amazed how much this group has helped me and kept me accountable this year. We're all from all over the world, and sometimes one of the ladies will put up a video and their words will just be what I needed to hear. I'm going to loop this video because I'm running out of video. I need to say some more words here that hopefully are helpful. So yeah, it's just lovely to be able to do life together with people who get it. You know, we all have friends in our lives, of course. Well, hopefully we've all got, you know, close friends in our lives. But for me, I don't know anyone else in my actual life who junk journals and who understands this, you know, love of paper and vintage ephemera and stuff. And so it's wonderful to have this outlet, this community on YouTube and through my Marco Polo group, where we can just get excited about paper and get excited about the journals that we make. And I know the other ladies in that community really appreciated that too. And yeah, it was such a surprise just how much that group has been a help to me this year. And yeah, I was thinking, I don't want to let that go. So moving forward to next year, if anyone would like to be part of a Marco Polo community and just share with this love of journaling and creativity, let me know, because I'm looking at options of setting up some sort of Marco Polo group where we can journey together, do life together, and do all that fun stuff. I'm not sure what it will look like, if anyone's interested, but let me know. It will probably only be, I want it more like an intimate group, because that's where people can feel more comfortable to share more vulnerably and that kind of thing, and you can actually get to know people more in a smaller group. So we had about 20 roughly in the Intentional Life group, so I'm thinking that worked really well. Not everyone posted a video or got active in that, but I was thinking maybe a 20 cutoff, that might be good if anyone is interested. So I know, let me know. Just thinking about plans for next year and that kind of thing, and definitely looking forward to new courses that I'll be running as well. But yeah, any of those courses I have, anyone can join anytime. Feel free to email me to register and find out more. Next year I'm looking to do a list journal course, a Psalms journal course, and the Intentional Life course again, and some other ones that I will be thinking about as well. Maybe that keepsake journal course or some sort of biography, life story journal course or something like that. That's really on my heart, especially with the book that I'm going to be working on next year, a visual memoir. I think maybe creating some sort of course to help you create your own visual memoir book would be awesome. Anyway, I have rambled on long enough. I hope this video was really helpful for you guys. Let me know if any of those tips helped you. Also put in the comments what helps you though. I'm sure there are different ruts different people go through for different reasons, so there's different things that are going to help different people, and so your suggestions, your tips might help someone out there. You just never know. Alright guys, hope you're doing really well. If you have any questions or video requests, feel free to reach out to either by the comments below or email. All my information is down below in the description box. Be sure to journal your life because your stories matter, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys. A big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in November. I hope you absolutely loved all of the extras this month. And if you would like to support me in December and get access to extra videos and printables, behind the scenes updates and first access to any of my creations, the link is down below in the description box. The links are also down there to all of my journaling courses. The Reflections journaling course is running all through December if you would like to document your year for 2022. And if you would like to support my book fundraiser, the link is there to my GoFundMe page as well.